On this week's show, Chisom sits down with the two presidential finalists, Yanni Vandries and Isaiah Wingfield. I'll bring you an update from the Kirby Math and Science Center, a one-on-one interview with the Reverend Marvin McMickle, and a report from the jazz concert. A special Friday edition of Lawrenceville's 10-minute newscast begins right now. Coming to you from the Lawrenceville School's historic Pop Hall, this is L10 with Ghael Fobes. Hello and welcome to this week's show. On Thursday, the Fourth Forum held their primary election for the student body president. Our executive producer and senior news correspondent Chisom Ilogu had the chance to interview the finalists, Yanni Vandries and Isaiah Wingfield.
I'm here with Isaiah Wingfield, one of this year's presidential candidates. First and foremost, Isaiah, congratulations to making it to this point. That's an honor in itself.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'd like you to introduce yourself to the community. Talk about who you are, where you're from, a little bit about what you are about.
I'm Isaiah Wingfield, a junior from Burlington, New Jersey. I live in the Hamill house, play football, basketball, run track.
Can you describe the central parts of your platform?
Well, I have three big things. Definitely want to push conversation, community, and cultural competence. I think at a place like Lawrenceville with so much diversity, so much to give, so many different views and perspectives, we have so much to learn from one another. I think, and because of that, I think conversation is huge. I've learned so much from just listening and kind of learning to talk less, and hearing the amazing views and perspectives of the different people around me. So that's huge for me. I definitely want to add another community day and just hold more areas, more events for conversation. In addition to that, we have to push for just much more togetherness. Through Saturday nights, I have a lot of different plans. I'm not sure if you guys really want me to go into that, but I definitely want to switch it up from the dance with just a different theme every week. I don't think it fosters us coming together like it should. I think we can rally around our musicians, our dancers, our athletes, our gamers much better than we do now. And I think there are a lot of ways and a lot of plans, a lot of realistic plans that I have to do that. Going more into it, we have to make weekends a lot easier. So I'm talking, Sunday nights. I think I have a good plan to bring our homework load down a lot. From 55 minutes to 30 minutes of class. I want to make parental fair for everybody in every house. I have a lot of different things I want to do in a lot of different areas, but really just pushing towards bringing this community together. So the ultimate goal is so that we're not just talking about issues, but we're comfortable enough as a community to solve a lot of issues worldwide.
In that explanation, you mentioned a lot about togetherness and the sense of community on campus, and Laurentians rallying around one another. Do you feel that Lawrenceville has rallied around you?
Most definitely. I don't think it's supposed to be easy for a new sophomore coming in, but I got to thank my teammates on the football team who really made the transition easy, and then really above all, the house I live in, Hamill, who really helped me get into the flow of things. Outside of that, I'd like to think people like me a little bit, and I think I've been accepted into the community. I've learned so much from people around me, and been, I'd like to think I've been accepted here. So I'm really grateful for everybody who's helped me really mature into the person, helped me develop into the person I am. So I think I've been accepted here.
Great. So a couple nights ago, you gave your presidential speech to the entire Fourth Form class. Within that speech, you went over points in your platform, gave us a little sense of who you are, and you also mentioned that you believe that the class of 2017 and Lawrenceville as a whole is exceptional. That being said, where do you think we need to improve?
I talked about it a little bit. I think the whole notion of the Lawrenceville bubble is just, I know it's cliche, but it's really on point. We go through life here really just focusing on ourselves so much, and I understand we got to get that A so we can get into that prestigious university. I get it, but there's a whole lot outside of Lawrenceville that I think we deprive ourselves from because we're so focused on getting this good grade on this 10-point quiz, and instead of thinking about so many pressing issues worldwide. I don't think I need to get into them here, but I think the biggest thing we need is just to push more awareness, and I think that could make us a much better community.
I'm here with Yanni Vandris, one of this year's presidential finalists. Pleasure to have you here, Yanni, and congratulations.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Yep. Okay. So first and foremost, I'd like to have you introduce yourself to the Lawrenceville community. Who are you? What do you do here on this campus? Where are you from? All that jazz.
Well, I'm originally from Worcester, Pennsylvania. I moved to New Jersey, to attend Lawrenceville as a day student back during my freshman year. I'm an RCI. That's something I really love to do, and it's really important to who I am, I think. I'm really outgoing, kind of loud. Sometimes I love to make jokes, I love to laugh. So I think that that really embodies who I am. But also in a more, academic setting, I'm in the debate club. I love to do that. I also am a musician. I play in the jazz band. So there's a lot of things I love to do.
So can you describe the central points of your platform?
So briefly, the central points of my platform are, firstly, publicize and legitimize the Stuco proposal process that occurs to the administration, keep the student body more involved, and really get that process to keep the administration accountable and keep the students involved. Secondly, is campus unity. One idea I had was, to create a legitimate mascot as opposed to a color. And then also, on a more serious note, addressing the issues that we have on our campus. I think an issue that we have currently is asking for change in policy without looking in the mirror and asking what we can do better. So I think having those conversations is important. I think also one thing that needs to be dealt with is the disciplinary action policy and procedure. I think that we are a two-strike school. We are very proud of that, and it's something that should be enforced regardless of when the infraction occurs. A lot of the time, students who unfortunately make a mistake later on in their Lawrenceville careers are forced to leave the school without being afforded that second chance. So I think it's important to take a look at that. And then lastly, embracing our campus and, taking it for all it has to offer.
Great. So in your speech, you mentioned the importance of community to your Lawrenceville experience. How will you attempt to shape the experience of others?
I think a lot of the time, the community aspect of Lawrenceville is kind of lost in certain divisions that we draw amongst ourselves in terms of, houses, in terms of, athletic teams and clubs that we belong to. Of course, it's important to have our own, individual interests and, to pursue those things. But it's important to not get lost in the division, I think. It's important to remember to bring that community together and to feel like when you're walking across campus, it's not weird to, smile and say hello to a freshman you don't know, or maybe engage in conversation with that senior at the walk bar. I don't know. I think that those daily interactions, those things that we might think of as mundane are really important. And that's something that I try to do. I try to engage with a lot of people and, just make Lawrenceville a great place to be.
Thank you, Chisom. L10 News and the Lawrence will be hosting the Presidential Forum next Thursday during school meeting, and we'll bring you another special Friday edition of the broadcast from the KAC, where we will bring you the results. We encourage you to send questions via Twitter and email. On Monday, I had the opportunity to go inside the construction site of the new Kirby Math and Science Center. We're here on the roof of the Kirby Science Building, right as it's about to join the Kirby Math and Science Center. We are overlooking the current construction of the Math Building as we are just about to put brickwork on this week, and we had a chance to talk to the senior project manager, Kevin Lysak. All right, so we are now walking into what would be the entrance to the Kirby Math. So you were saying earlier, entrance is actually going to be over here.
That's correct. Coming from this direction. This will all be enclosed in glass. So at the height that you see at this point and up, it's just a wing wall. This is what we call this right now. And then this is the stairwell down to the basement. As you can see, they're starting to brick the walls, as you explained in your previous section.
Yeah.
So they will come in from here. It'll be landscape. It'll be hardscape outside patio. You'll come in from this direction. First floor.
First floor, and then the actual stairs going up are going to be on the other side, correct?
So they'll wrap around that wall and then go up. First floor right now, so it's all classroom space.
There's one of the classrooms, another one.
correct.
And they're going to be 2 bigger classrooms, correct?
Yeah, towards the end here is what you're going to have. They're a little bit bigger, let's say that, in comparison to the others.
I see.
So what you see now is the bones of the environment. You can see the structure in the walls, the door frames, and all the mechanical systems, the piping, the ductwork, the electrics being installed at this point. And so here's if you look at the niche in the drawings, here's the little niche area as far as a workspace and a sitting area for the students.
Yeah.
This was cut in by design at this point. And then as I said to you earlier, if you look up, here's the cavity that's in the floor. And then your bridge, your spanway here.
Very cool.
Here's one here, as you can see the door.
Oh, I see.
And then if you look up, your skylight that was just installed today.
Very cool. And the bridges are going to be glass going into the classrooms.
Right now it's like a black, glass block is what they show. So you asked about all the openings. This was the stairwell that we came up through. So this would be the door to the stairwell, and here's your prime opening at this point that I said we cut open that the glass window was at. And of course there's one on the upper floor as well. This will actually be, there'll be a door here as well that'll exit the building, and this will all be landscaped outside here as well. By the time they get the building sealed up, this will start to wrap up quickly, so you'll see things evolving quickly. Because let's call it the bones and the meat and potatoes of the building is basically done between the brick and the structure and all that other good stuff.
I'm going right outside now what the entrance will be for the Kirby Math and Science Center. We'd like to thank Kevin Lysak, the Senior Project Manager of the Kirby Math and Science Center project, and hopefully within the month you'll be able to see the outside of this building take shape. In August, the building should be done, and we'll be there in May ahead of time to give you another update. On Saturday night, Lawrenceville held an all-school dance marathon. All funds were donated to the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Here's Toby Ilogu with a quick report.
Thanks, Ghael. I'm down here at Lavino Fieldhouse with the coordinators of Lawrenceville's dance fundraiser, Bridget O'Reilly and Sarah Walker. So, Sarah, can you explain the dance marathon?
Yeah, so Dance Marathon, it's a nationwide program that raises money for Miracle Network hospitals, and specifically ours is for CHOP, which is the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and it's for their child life department, which is underfunded, and it helps kids cope when they're going through treatment.
All right, and Bridget, can you, do you have any advice for Laurentians seeking to do any fundraising work here?
I think it's really important to have a passion for what you're doing. Child life, and especially helping out kids at CHOP, was something that Sarah and I were both really passionate about, because it's so underfunded and it's such an important part of a kid's experience at a hospital, and getting a sense of what normal life is like because they're stuck in a hospital for so long. And with that, I think once you have a support group, like for us, Mrs. Cantley was really, really helpful, and our friends and people who helped us put on this event. I think once you have those things in place, if you work hard enough, everything will fall in place and everything will run smoothly.
All right, thank you both. Back to you, Ghael.
Thank you, Toby. The event raised in total over $1,400. On Sunday, several Laurentians will travel to Rutgers University to participate in the annual Rutgers Unite Half Marathon and 8K. Faculty, staff, and students will run in support of the Williams Syndrome Association, an organization dedicated to improving awareness and treatment of Williams syndrome. This week, Laurentians participated in Pride Week, an event aimed at drawing awareness to LGBTQ issues. The event was organized by Lawrenceville's Gender and Sexuality Alliance, disclaimer, a club of which I'm co-president. On Sunday, Reverend Dr. Marvin McMickle spoke at the Hallelujah service in the Edith Memorial Chapel. He is a professor at Colgate Rochester Crozer Divinity School. Our news correspondent Alex Small had the opportunity to interview him.
I'm here with Reverend Marvin McMickle. And Mr. Reverend McMickle, do you have a favorite story or message from the Bible? And why would that be your favorite? And is there a reason, or is there a time that you can remember when it came and it just has hit you in a certain way or impacted you?
You know, there probably are several stories that affect people at different times and different places. I think the call of Amos and Isaiah, as they are sort of being taken from one profession into another, really speaks to my own life experience. As I said in the sermon today, my life was heading in a particular direction, and then suddenly I was rerouted. So any of those stories that, Jonah running away from the call of God, or the Apostle Paul, when he was still Saul on the Damascus Road, going for one purpose and then being completely redirected. Those stories of God's power to redirect us not always into ministry, but just into a place where God wants us to be instead of where we thought we were heading. Those are the ones that have had the most impact on me.
Thank you, Alex. From the jazz concert, we go to our arts correspondent, Bianca Mankervie.
Hi, Ghael. I'm here at the Clark Music Building covering the Spring Principal Jazz Concert. And I spoke to a few musicians and the director to see what got them into jazz in the first place and what it takes to prepare for such a concert. I'm here with Mr. Rockley, the director of instrumental music. Hello. So, what does your job here entail?
I manage our instrumental ensembles. We have 4, 3 of which I also direct, the 2 orchestras, and I do the lab band here, which is what we're ready to do tonight. And then Mr. Prado, he handles the jazz ensemble. So we got 2 groups going on tonight. Should be a really great time.
What is your favorite piece?
Right now it's probably Fly Me to the Moon by Frank Sinatra.
What is there to look forward to in tonight's performance?
Tonight we have a lot of different solos and a lot of different opportunities for people to play and show off what they have. We've been working hard for a while.
Thank you, Bianca. That is our show for Friday, April 15th, 2016. From all of us here at L10, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you right back here next week. Good night.